They all sat as chief held the hand of the fellow who accompanied him to his office. The fellow only spent about 10 minutes with him and came out of the office alone. A few minutes later, one of the chief's aides whispered to Osa. He rose immediately. Osa is the boyfriend at this time of Shay, and picked up the bag from Shay's side and asked Shay to go with him as he followed the aide out of the sitting room. They passed through a corridor that was fully lit with pictures and artworks, especially drawings, on both sides of the wall, and a big vase of flowers, roses, and chrysanthemums that did not seem to belong there by Shay's standards. In about 5 minutes, they alighted at a lawn. It was more like a quadrangle. The chief was alone with the fellow. The man was huge and had an intimidating presence with a benign smile. The smile later became a simper, and it told Shay he was the sort of figure at ease with treacherous flatteries. He wore a pair of shorts. His legs bore lines of scars, especially around his right knee. He could menace anyone. She thought the man exposed his scars as marks of honor and wonder. Shay was no longer afraid of men like that. Oh, I'm on page 119. He looked ruddy and muscular and alert. His face was not about without blemish. The chief was not smiling. He acted as though he did not see the sun. He focused on Shay. Are you sure you want to witness what we are doing here? He asked her with a look of benevolent scorn. Osa told me about it, she said shyly. If you see this, it means you must marry him, he challenged her. And embarrassed, she said, he knows elliptically. The chief turned and eyed the strappy fellow, who asked Osa for the bundle in his bag. She did not expect anything to happen. All the 3 million naira was Osa going to exercise an about face. Was the man going to stop the fast at the last second? This could not happen. We could not toil for money the way Osa did and let everything go up with flames, she said to herself. The fellow said he did not have much more left in his bank account, but that he could manage. But who did what she was about to say? She did not believe it when the chief withdrew suddenly under an heap and allowed the huge fellow to take the money from her boyfriend. He looked with horror with a stove when the stove was lit and the flames burst in his blue terror from an oven. The oven was queer. She had not seen his type before. The king was like a baking oven, but it had blue flames sticking out like a tongue. It also had no face cover. Usa said it was locally made by someone who saw the chief's financial favors in order to improve it. But the chief seemed to have had other uses for it. He recalled the matchstick and kerosene dialogues they had had with the chief. He came without them. He probably knew he had his own instruments of the drum. She regretted coming to that executioner's lair as she saw it. A place to execute the leaves of labor or the fruits of it. It was days when the first bundle of a million naira was thrust into the tongue of the devil, and it was devoured. The crack and pop of burning rattled her. It would haunt her eyes forever. In a few minutes, it was all ashes. The pale dust would also haunt her ears forever. The flames were efficient and ruthless, and the aide tried the fire and shoveled out the remains. He lit it again a few minutes later and thrust the next bundle inside the devourer. He followed the the same right for the last bundle. The air turned a little hazy with paper dust. The air slightly blue and smelling of burning. She sneezed and looked away. The chief said sorry without regret. Osa moved over to the girlfriend to see if she was all right. Jay looked at his stunned and quiet Osa make a sacrifice for a career. Both of them clearly did not want to stay there any longer if they preferred. We are done, the chief said, in a stern and businesslike manner. You can go now. We can discuss later. I will go to London tomorrow and I will not be back until 3 weeks. Let us talk Edo politics then. That was all he said. Osa did not want to look the bonfire's way as the strapping aide gathered the ashy cups of the man's toy into a bag. He tipped them dust after dust into a metallic bowl with a criminator's efficiency. It occurred to Shay that the man should hand over the remains to the owner of the money, but Osa was too nervous to talk and too dazed to even move. To bring humor to the proceedings, Shay said, dust to dust. She said it through a pair of lips muffled by a handkerchief. The chief cracked up, but it was a meteor of a smile. Osa told himself that that was the look of the soldier in him. Chief Lande had served as a fighter during the Civil War and left the army immediately after. He hardly spoke about his combat days, his exploits or lack of them in the theaters of Aba and Kibu. No, interjected Osa, more than ashes to ashes. Yes, it is a cremation, Chief Lambert said. He perceived from her face that she wanted to say something. He did not want to answer any questions or elaborate on any concept from her. Chief smiled again to Shay, a skin-deep chair, and looked away. He walked out of the place as though to lead the couple out of the quadrangle. He wanted to let them know he had other things to cater to that afternoon. Osa and Shay walked quietly to their vehicle through a back alley that cut off the dogs. It better not be in vain, said Shay, frazzled by what she had just seen. That's enough money to change some people's lives forever. God shall provide. Shay might have laughed at his comical reference to Father Abraham in the Bible. She merely looked at the subdued face that emitted that piece of battle. As they entered Osa's vehicle, a man accosted Osa with a bundle and whispered to his ears. He handed the bundle to Shay. From the chief, he said, before Shay to question him. They entered the vehicle and she opened the bundle and it was 1 million naira. He says that money is for you and not me. Osa explained to Shay. What does that mean, she asked? Is that a bribe or is it a show off? He is a politician. He might be backing for you like those dogs. God forbid, she said. Shay did not need to return it, and Osa knew why. After they hit the express, Osa lapsed into a silence that was not the sort she had seen before.